Hello everyone and welcome to my first tutorial of the iFly 737 MAX 8. This video will be the first video in a playlist for anyone who is new or who may be looking to start in flight simulation, or maybe you are like me and had hundreds of hours in smaller aircraft in flight sim, but now you want to jump into an airliner. You're going to find value in this tutorial as well. If you're feeling overwhelmed and have no idea where to start, you've found the right spot. I will be making short, easily digestible tutorials that will simplify each process button by button and step by step. This video should answer most of your questions for flight setup, from turning the batteries on through entering the load plan, and it's going to stop just before we enter the data into the FMC, and that will be the next video in the series. In this series, I will also share the tips that I have learned and continue to learn daily. Trust me, I was in your shoes 8 months ago, having never virtually sat in an airliner. The learning curve isn't that bad, and if I can make the jump, so can you. Let's get started. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is find a checklist that is going to work from you. I know a lot of virtual airlines are out there. They have their own. A lot of airlines have their own, and they follow different procedures, but you want to find one and stick to it. I will post a link to this checklist in the description down below. If I'm learning any new plane, before I start the engines up or do anything, I'll usually set my camera views up so I can move around the cockpit and do all of the data entry and button pressing pretty quickly and efficiently. The quick thing that I do, I use my numpad on my keyboard, and I have mine set up. 0 is down at the radios because it's as far back in the cockpit as you can go. 1 is always going to be my EFB or iPad. 2 is almost always my glare shield and front lower view. 3 is usually my FMC for easy input. 4 is my front overhead. 5, because it's the middle button, will bring me back to center. That's the middle button. It's got a little indent on it. I can feel it without looking at it, and that will bring me back to the cockpit. 6 is the rear topside or rear overhead. And I usually use 7, 8, and 9 for cinematics. 7 is my left wing view because it's left on the keypad. 8 is center, so it's usually underneath the aircraft, kind of a landing gear view. It's kind of neat. And then 9 is the other side view, the right side view. Again, 9 is on the right side of the numpad. Very easy. I'm a very simple guy. I try to make things simple, easy to remember, and I do this for every single plane that I learn. The first thing we want to do is make sure the parking brake is set, and it is. Then we're going to jump up to the front overhead and turn on the battery. This guard will close on its own. There's no need to try to close it. After standby power, it says left center fuel pump and left aft fuel pump. I don't mess with those currently. I also do not turn on my APU right now because we are going to set up ground power. Instead of doing the APU part of this, I'm going to jump back over here to our EFB, turn on the power, go to the system page, hit the sim menu, ground support, connect the power, make sure the chocks are in, sometimes those are out, and then you hit set. So now we're going to jump back up here, and we're going to flip the ground power on by going down. You'll see the whole overhead lit up. Now I'm going to continue down the checklist. We're going to go position lights to steady. Your logo light comes on. Your cabin lights now, if it's dark, you can now start to turn your cabin lights on so you can see the lights turning on, and the background lights on the overhead will start illuminating if it's dark outside. Then you want to go emergency exit lights to armed. That will close by itself. You don't have to do anything. Your passenger signs go to auto. Your seatbelt or your smoking sign always stays on. Over here, you go to packs or your air conditioners. Those go to auto as well. And then your IRS mode selectors. This is very important. This is how your plane is going to know where it's at in the world and how to navigate itself around. Your IRS selectors, I select to align, then align. I wait for that light to come on. I wait for this light to come on. And then once it does, I go to nav and then nav. This is going to take a few minutes for the plane to align. It's not instantaneous, but it is one of the critical steps that you need to do before moving on to the FMC input. You'll see the cockpit has come to life. We've got some screens. We have some things going on here. We got a master caution. Our HUD is illuminated. All right, as promised, our next step is going to be the FMC, but I'm going to wait for the next video for that so you can go through and re-watch any of the points that you may or may not have missed, and you can do that at your own pace. If you learned something in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel out a lot. If you have any other questions about the pre-flight setup, please drop it in a comment down below. Also, for the sake of interaction, I would love to know what your favorite plane is in the sim and why. And I hope to see you in an upcoming live stream, as I do live stream Microsoft Flight Simulators several times a week on most weeks. This entire 737 tutorial series playlist is up on the top right. Just below that is the next video in this series, and YouTube thinks you may enjoy the video that is showing up on the bottom left. Take a look at one of those, and we will see you over there.